My name is Mario Facas Spirit, and welcome to the channel. I had to do a hard cut here. I just want to say this is a long video. Do me a favor, watch the whole thing. I would really enjoy and invite you to leave your thoughts at the end of the video, right? You'll understand what I mean when you watch, if you choose to watch a whole video. But I would appreciate it, enjoy hearing your opinion at the end of the video. See what your thoughts are, and what you think is going on, right? Anyways, we'll leave it there and on with the video. So today's video is going to be about an experience that I've just had, or it's been going on for a bit. I want to present it to you guys just because it has something to do with, I'm pretty sure what was last year, I had made a video around this time saying that when you deal with like angels or spirit guides or messages and all that, it's very important that you don't get lost or like lose yourself to that life. Remember, you live in a physical world, okay? So you gotta be able to maneuver within this physical world. The reason I'm looking, because this thing's going on over there. So that's very important. But first and foremost, we're a spiritual being, so we have to take that seriously, and we have to function in that world as well. And I am a strong believer that the spirit world is talking to us, right? And that it's important to listen and to use its guidance to help us. But we need to do this in a discerning fashion without losing ourselves to that world. Remember, we live in this physical world, okay? We still gotta function, we still gotta drive our cars, we have to go to work, we have to do this, we have to do that. So that to me, the reason why I say it, because before in the past, I did end up losing to like myself to messages and all that, and I kind of ran my life a little bit. So that's why I say this, just so you remember. You need to find a balance, and don't lose yourself to it. But yeah, you use it for your advantage. Pay attention and see what comes out of it, right? So let's talk about what happened to me, and you'll see the way I'm dealing with it now compared to how I would have dealt with it in the past, right? So let's start with last weekend, okay? On Sunday, I went to my cousin's birthday. Where this birthday was at, it was at my grandmother's house that she was living in when I was just a child. So I'm 57 now. So I can't remember when she moved from there, but let's just say I was 10 years old when she moved from there, right? So let's say 47 years ago, right? So I went to that house there. Now, why did I go to that house when my grandmother wasn't living in it anymore? Well, because a little while ago, my cousin had, for whatever reason, had found out that house was for sale. So she inquired about it and this and that, and then to make a long story short, her daughter, which is my grandmother's great granddaughter, now owns the house with her husband. Okay, so needless to say, it was really like enjoyable for a lot of us, like the grandkids and even her kids, like my uncle, my mother, and all that, to go back to this house there, because we have a lot of memories, right? So it was a really nice experience to go back to this house. So as I'm driving there, I'm thinking to myself, because I'll do that, like I'll look for connections that they say with numbers or names or whatever. So I'm looking for connections with my cousin's daughter's name, her name, the name of the street, finding numbers or whatever. So I wasn't, nothing was really coming to me, which I thought was kind of interesting, because usually something does stand out, right? And so, excuse me. But anyway, so from there, I was talking to my one cousin, and she's into spirituality as well. She'll see auras and all that. And sorry. So anyways, so I was talking to her, And I usually find connections and all that, but I really can't find anything. And she goes, oh, well, it'll come to you, right? Like in a big way or something like that, right? And so I just thought that was interesting. So I went and talked to my cousin's daughter, and I'm talking to her about how she got the house and these things here. And through all the conversation, I'm not really picking anything up, right? But she did say something about, like, she said she had 2 or 3 gas leaks, right? And the one, she goes, well, was for the barbecue, so we just shut that off because we're not going to use that. Then the other one, I think, was in the basement, right? Was that other one or two in the basement? And she goes, the guy, I think it was the individual that sold the place or whatever. Some guy was there having a smoke, right? right in that area. So I'm like, well, you almost went to meet your grandmother. Oh, by the way, I don't think I told you guys this. My grandmother has passed away. I should have said this in the beginning. It's a big part of this whole thing. So she passed away earlier on this year, right? So this is why I was looking for the connection. I'm trying to see if my grandmother had guided her great granddaughter to buying this house, right? So that's why I said, I go, and I found out the guy was smoking. I'm like, geez, I go, you almost went to go visit your grandmother, right? And we kind of had a laugh and all that. Then I also said to her, I go, and you guys might think it's kind of cold from my part, but I don't know. It depends on the way you look at it, right? So I told her, I go. Last year, like after the funeral, I went to the casino. I figured she'd hook me up with maybe switching some of the machines around to give me some money, right? I go. But yeah, she hooks you up. I go. Well, when did I get up there, right? Because the home she's got is like, the location is amazing. Like I remember growing up there, and even coming back, you could feel the energy, but with such a beautiful, calming, peaceful energy. And when she has kids, right, it'll be a nice place for her to raise her kids. There's like a park nearby. There's like it's like a collegiate, but it's like a place where you got paid to send your kids. So it's a very high-end school nearby. It's just like, it's an amazing location. So for me, I was very happy for her for that location there, right? The house, it's not an amazing looking house, right? But you know what? It works. The yard is humongous. Like, it's amazing the size of yard she has. And you know what I mean? The house, you can do whatever you need to do. That's not, like the cosmetics, all that. That's not a big deal. That you could do that later. The important things, what her and her husband has, is that they have a great neighborhood and a great yard, and they have a home which they can make it work for them and their kids, hopefully in the future, right? So anyway, so then, so from there, I'm talking to like her mom and this other woman there, and I'm saying about the connections. I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm talking about this pretty comfortably with them, considering that it's not something I usually talk to with them about, right? My one cousin, yeah, but the other ones, no, right? So that kind of got my attention. And that one woman said the same thing as my cousin. She goes, it's gonna happen, like all of a sudden you'll get it, whatever, right? I'm like, yeah, well, whatever, right? Like, to me, it wasn't a big deal. To me, it was just for fun. I just wanted to see if I could find a connection, right? So, anyways, so we'll leave that story there. So that happened last weekend, okay? So let's go back in the past, right? And guys, I'm not going to be bouncing around, but I would suggest that you listen to the whole thing and give me your opinion at the end if you'd like. I'd appreciate it. I think it'd be interesting to see what you guys have to say, right? But anyway, so we'll leave that story there. So let's go back to the summer. My grandmother had moved on already, right? So in my home, I got my gas stove, and I got 4 burners, and the one burner wasn't working anymore. Like, it was always sticky, and I got for years. But then all of a sudden, it didn't want to work anymore. So I could smell, to me, I felt like I could smell like a gas leak, right? So, and then the other burner was all like all over the place. Like it was fire was there, but it was all over the place, right? So I called up my brother-in-law, and I told him, and he's certified in gas and all that, right? And he goes, well, I'm coming up your way in next weekend, so if you want, I could drop by on Sunday. I'm like, yeah, okay, no, okay, all right. So he came over, and he checked, and the one with the fire was all over the place. It was just like something inside the one tube for the burner. So he just cleaned it out, and then that settled that. The other one, it's the valve is gone, so you couldn't really do nothing with that. So from there, I'm like, okay, yeah, but I can smell gas, and he's like, well, I don't really smell it, and my sister's there. She's like, yeah, I don't really smell it either, right? So he goes, well, just in case, let's just get the soapy water, because that's what they do, right? And he goes, let's check, right? So he sprayed and sprayed everything, and he goes, dude, he goes, I don't see any bubbles. He goes, you don't have I can't see any gas leak, this and that, right? So again, like I usually don't talk about stuff like this with him too, but I'm like, well, maybe it's psychological, right? And he kind of looked at me, and I was like, yeah, maybe, whatever, right? So as time went on, I stopped smelling it, okay? So that got my attention, because a few days ago I started thinking about that. I'm like, it's kind of funny how I don't smell it anymore, right? Before, I mean, I used to come in, I'd be like, oh my God, I could smell gas. I thought I'd shut off the stove and this and that. I'm like, I can't believe, you know what I mean? I thought something bad could happen, this and that. And now I don't smell anything, and we haven't done anything different, right? So from there, now, a few days ago, okay, my lights started flickering, and my clock started fading in and out, this and that, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I was up in the gym one day, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they're a message from angels, right? But I just a thought, right? So anyway, the other day I was doing work in my yard on Wednesday, and I ended up walking by the breaker. I have a main breaker. I got my breaker inside my home, but there's a breaker outside, right? So I walked by that breaker. I put my hand on top of the box for it, which is a steel box, and it was warm. Okay, I'm like, well, I don't think that's cool. So I called up the manager, right? And he goes, well, he goes, okay, he goes, leave it with me. So then I think he called me up later that day. He goes, do you have the like space heaters going, all that? I called my electrician, and he said that could cause that. I'm like, no, I got nothing out of the normal. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, we won't be able to get there in the next couple of days, but we'll be able to get there in the weekend. He goes, you have any problem with your lights and all that? I'm like, well, what was flickering before? He goes, yeah, well, that was the other day because of the hydro. I'm like, well, I don't think it was that day that he had said, but whatever. I'm like, it's still not bad, because I had that problem before. Like last year, the lights were flickering, and they had to fix something within the breaker, right? So it was kind of like that, but it wasn't the same time, right? But I'm like, whatever, he's going to be here in the weekend, so that's fine, right? So today is Saturday, okay? Remember, the party was on Sunday of last week, right? So today is Saturday. So I was at the gym. I come home, and he's here, the manager's here with the electrician, and they're working on the breaker. And they're showing me that there's these wires that were like all burnt, right? So obviously there comes the heat, right? That's where the heat was coming from. I'm like, well, what's the matter? And I'm like, oh, the bar, this and that, whatever. It's like electrician stuff and all this. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, well, we tested it. It seems fine, this and that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what could have caused that to get hot? And he goes, well, it could be a problem with the wire, this and that, but we'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep coming over every once in a while, check the box and all that, and see. He goes, but the electrician checked the breaker. The breaker's fine, this and that, right? I'm like, okay. So I'm like, whatever. So then he goes, well, is everything inside okay? I go, well, so I go in and check. So he comes in with me. But when we were outside, he pulled up a pack of cigarettes, and he had pulled up a pack of cinnamon. And I thought he was going to have a smoke. So when we walk inside to my home, I could see him with the lighter, and he's flicking the oh no. So we walk in, right? So my door was closed. So we walk in, he's right behind me, and he goes, "It smells like gas in here." I go, I go, "Really?" I go, "Well, I told him the whole story, my brother-in-law, this and that." I go, "But I haven't smelled it in a long time, this and that." So we checked all the pilot lights, everything was fine, right? And he's like, "Oh, maybe not." But then he's over there and he's flicking his lighter. So I'm like, "What, you checking for gas leaks?" Right? And I can see things weren't quite like accurate what was going on. I think things were kind of weird, right? So he's like, "Oh, you didn't like say much or whatever," but it's still odd for him to do that, right? So after he had left, I'm like thinking about it, gas leak. Then I thought about, with my grandmother's old place, right? The gas leak there. So I'm like, well, is that the connection, right? It's not what I like to do sometimes, or most of the time, when something like this happens, I'll say that like gas leak. I'll see what thoughts come to me, right? I do that, guys, but I don't get overly carried away, okay? I don't lose myself to it. I investigate, but I don't lose myself. Very important, right? So nothing was coming. Then I had a thought, well, maybe I should check on the internet and see if, something would come up for like, because I know angels will communicate to you with smells, right? I go, I wonder if I check the internet, something would come up, right? And really, I didn't think nothing would. But I'm like, I go, it's not going to hurt, right? I might as well check, right? So when I go, I set everything up here. Then I'm not talking about, oh, I got to check that. So when I go check it, okay? So I type in angelic messages, smell of gas. So as this comes up, okay, the right of my screen, a notification comes up. Okay, and the notification is from where are you? So the name of the YouTube channel is called Voice of Love. Okay, and what the video is about is confirmation from your spirit guide. Okay, so right there, it obviously has my interest, right? So I don't bother reading what is said on Google. I go straight to that there, okay? And what she was doing, she was pulling cards out, and it was like animal cards, right? So you pull out the card, let's say, of a dog, and there's a meaning for dog or whatever, right? So, and again, guys, it's where you have to be very aware and very focused. Things can mean a lot of meanings, so you can't sit there and go, oh, this means this and this means that, because you could find coincidences, which there's no such thing. You could find connections in so many things if you want. The minute that gas thing came up to me, that connection there, all of a sudden I had this connection, that connection, here, there, this, that, this. It was everywhere. It was all around me. And me in the past, I've been like looking at all these things. You can't live that way. You can't. You can't function that way. That's not a life. You're a free being making free choices for yourself. You have to be discerning and make the healthiest possible choices you can make for yourself. You run your life, not the cards, not a psychic or not even your spirit guides. They're just there to assist you. So you can't lose yourself, right? So I was very much aware that I did not go down that road, right? I didn't even touch that. I'm not going back there again, right? So anyway, so I watched this video. So the first two cards she pulled was a giraffe and a frog, right? So the giraffe meant, like they have a long neck so they could see through the jungle. So let's say what she was kind of saying is that, let's say you feel your life's like all cluttery right now, With the giraffe, you could see that there is light at the end of the tunnel if you want, right? So I thought that was really interesting, and just hearing her explain it made me laugh too, which I thought was interesting, right? So then frog meant prosperity, and guys, here's an example. I'm French. And what's a nickname for French is frog. So the minute that frog card came out, the first thing that popped in my head, well, I'm French, so no. That's where I stop it. No, I'm not going down that road, okay? It does nothing to do with being French, okay? Maybe it does, but I'm still not going down that road, because you start going down that road, it does not stop, because you can find little things everywhere, right? So I stopped it right there. We're not doing that, right? But what I did enjoy was prosperity, and that's been bouncing around inside me for quite a while now, right? So that was for frog, and giraffe meant visionary, okay, which works for me. Seeing the bigger picture, which I do see the bigger picture, right? So we're good with that. And then, yeah, so that there. And then she pulled other cards, and some said like action, you need to take action. I'm like, I'm good. That's good with that. I'm good with that. Fire. But I'm not saying that I'm doing that. I am, but it's working for me. Action, fire. So you have the fire inside you. You got passion. You know what I mean? And what also stood out to me was the word frustration came out, right? And now, just before all this happened, I did a healing meditation with this Reiki healer on YouTube, right? And she had just posted that, and that there was about letting go for prosperity, right? I'm like, okay, so I was listening to that, and then my meditation, I focused it on my right quad. So there was like frustration that this is not getting fixed, or that, like I say, the medical system is not fixing that or whatever. So what I was doing, I was really focusing a lot of light into the frustration and letting the frustration go. I would say to myself, one step at a time, one day at a time. I analyze my whole body and my healing. Am I moving forward? Yes, I am. So be patient, be calm, one step at a time, one day at a time. If you have I'm bouncing around a lot here, but if you have injuries that have been around for a long time, they're not going to get fixed like this. It takes time, so you have to have patience. So what's important though is that frustration came out in that meditation, and then I see this video about spirit guide confirmation, and frustration comes out, right? I'm like, okay, so I'm making that connection, that works, right? So, and then she even she said it. She goes, you have to let go and trust in prosperity, right? And the healing was let go and trust in prosperity, right? Confirmation, spirit guide confirmation. So I thought that was interesting. And I was looking at her home that she was filming in, and I could see in the background, it was like an older house. It was, or at least it was older pictures in the background. So that caught my attention, because my grandmother, the ceiling is still the same ceiling that my uncle had built probably, like, who knows, 50 years ago, right? And the paneling on the walls was still the same paneling, right? So I was kind of thinking about that, right? Yeah, so that's about it for that. It was a few things that caught my attention, but I'm not gonna talk about everything. But so now from there, so I'm like, I go that was pretty cool. I liked the video, right? And it's not like I'm like dependent on these things, but it was interesting. And I keep it in the back of my mind. I keep myself aware of these things, right? So then I go back to Google, right, to see what their definition of the smell thing with the angel messages, right? So it had, first of all, they were smart. They said, first check if you have any gas leaks. I'm like, yeah, I already did that, so we're good to go there, right? So then it said it had divine intervention, right? Which I looked at it. Then it had warning, right? It could be a divine warning, right, of something happening in your life. I was like, looking at it. But then it said, message from ancestors or spirit guide, right? So there you go, ancestors, my grandmother, okay? So basically, what am I doing with all this? There's nothing that for me that really stands out besides keep doing what I'm doing, right? Just keep doing what I'm doing. This year, it is true that I'd like to have this fixed as soon as possible, because every time I trigger this right quad, it throws my whole body off. So I really like to get this fixed, but I have to be patient. I have to be wise. I have to be discerning. I cannot get frustrated. I cannot get upset. If I've been like this for who knows how long. So, I mean, as a kid, I had injuries in my right leg. So I've been like that for so long. It's going to take time for the body to readjust. And another word that came out was rejuvenate in that video, right? So it's going to take time for the body to make the adjustments, to change, to come back to where it needs to be. Its original intention by God, not body injured, but a body that is healthy and strong, right? So that's what I'm going to keep doing. Now I'm going to throw something else in there, right? If you guys saw my video two weeks ago, I talked about a spirit named Isaac Sparrow. Now, Isaac Sparrow was a spirit that was channeled by a gentleman named Mark Jennings Reese. Mark Jennings Reese is no longer with us on this planet. He's in the spirit world now. But the way channelers work, there's two kinds of channelers. There are channelers that will receive messages from the spirit world and they'll share it with us. But then there are channelers that their spirits will leave their body and another spirit will enter their body. And that's who Mark Jennings was. His spirit used to leave his body, and Isaac Sparrow's spirit would enter his body, and we would have group sessions and we'd ask questions and we learn how to ascend, you know, the easiest way and most loving way possible. So anyways, so when you talk to Isaac Sparrow, it's like talking to heaven itself, okay? Because he had no veils in front of him. Like we have veils, right? But he had no veils. So it's like talking to an angel itself in the physical world, right? So at that one time, I was having this is going back quite a few years ago. I was going through a hard time and all that, and in my dreams, I had this other woman that I knew. She like told me to do something in that dream, right? There was nothing bad, but it was like it wasn't appropriate for me to go down that road. Even if it was nothing bad, it just wasn't appropriate, right? But I thought that was the message from the spirit world, right? And that's something I should do. So that combined with other messages that I had. I went down that road, and then it sent me to a dark place, right? So at one point, I had a meeting, just me with Isaac Sparrow, right? And I'm like, how did I get to this place here? I mean, when I awoke and I followed all the signs, this and that, and it led me to you guys, led me to this group, led me to all these positive things. Now I keep following the signs, and I'm led to a very dark place, right? Because I was a very bad place. And I'm like, well, how about this sign here, and how about that sign there? Right? I was not happy, right? What did that mean? What did that mean? So then I spoke of that dream. Okay, I go. Well, tell me. I go. In that dream, when that woman said this or that, was I wrong to listen to that? He goes to me. He goes. What that was her ego talking to your ego, right? Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to put the ego in a negative light, but the ego has fears that it needs to deal with, right? And at that time there, my ego had fears to deal with, like it still has today, but we're working through them, right? But at that time, there was a lot of fear going on, right? So what he said was that in this dream, right, her ego, which is guided by by I won't say darkness, but like a mixture of light and darkness, if you want, right? So her ego that was there was guided by a mixture of both energies, spoke to my ego that was combined with a mixture of energies, and me, because everything I was doing before worked, I thought that that was the same thing, so I went with it, and I went to a dark place. Okay, so what? So what? Why do I say don't lose yourself to this stuff? Because there's a lot more here that meets the eye, right? It's not. Yeah, you're getting messages, but it may not be always from your spirit guide, right? It could be from something else. It could be from your ego. It could be from someone else's ego. That's why I thought about after. When he said about the gas, I'm like, what, is this the ego playing games with me, right? So I'm very conscious of what I'm doing. I'm very discerning. One time, Isaac Sparrow told me, goes, your grandfather came and visited you, right? Which my grandfather had passed on, and he says you have nothing to be afraid of. And I remember that moment because I felt part of me that like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I didn't deal with it, right? So there's also that as well. So maybe you know what I'm saying. So it's not as clear cut as one may think. So so the point is, be very discerning, be very focused. Don't just go, oh, that's the answer, right? Do your research, use your instincts, you use discernment. No matter what it is, it has to benefit you at the highest possible level, okay? If it's not prosperous, if it's not healthy, if I was you, I wouldn't go down that road. That's not a road to go down. It has to benefit you. So like even with me, with everything that I told you guys, right? I'm not just gonna go, oh, and then just do whatever. No, I'm sticking to what I'm doing, okay? I'm keep myself focused and keep moving forward. And if it's right, I'm gonna have some major prosperous experiences down the road, then great. If not, that's fine too, because I'm still moving forward. I'm still being positive. I'm still living a healthy life. Either I win $50 million, right? Or I end up having have a cute girl come into my life and, you know, we get married and all that. Regardless if that does not happen, I'm still going to keep moving forward. I'm still going to live a healthy lifestyle, and I'm not going to give up on that. So my life will still be good, regardless if that happens or it doesn't happen. Would I like $50 million? Absolutely. Would I like that cute girl, us coming together and, you know, get married, having children, this and that? Absolutely. But am I going to sit there and hold my breath? Absolutely not. If it happens, that's totally awesome. If it doesn't, well, that's fine too, because I'm still going to keep moving forward and still keep living a good life and keep getting closer to my ascent, keep ascending to a higher level of consciousness till I achieved what I came here to do, was to ascend to my highest level of consciousness, right? So anyways, we'll leave it there. I know it's been a long video, but there was a lot to talk about. But anyways, we'll leave it there. Have a pleasant day. And again, let me know what you think. You think that was my spirit guys? Do you think it was the angels? Do you think it was the ego doing the different kinds of messaging, right? Let me know your thoughts and feelings. That'd be awesome. Anyways, we'll leave it there and have a good day. We'll see you next video.